now have that muted. All right. So, hello and welcome to Defiance. For those of you who aren't aware, Defiance is a massively multiplayer online shooter being made by Trion. It is also a TV series being made by the Sci-Fi Channel. They are actually related in that the game's events in the game are supposed to affect events in the TV series and vice versa. I have no idea how they're going to do that. The TV series does not air until next week. And obviously you don't produce an episode of a TV series in a week, so whatever effects are going to be in the game are going to take a little bit for them to actually show up in the series. But it'll be interesting to see how they do it. So this is going to be kind of a sort of first impressions / overview video. The game just came out earlier this week. For the most part, the launch has been pretty smooth. There haven't been too many server issues that I've seen, although apparently lag and server downtime has been a bit of an issue for some people. Nothing that I've seen, apparently mostly on the Xbox 360 side of things. This game is on PC, 360, and PS3. The servers are not shared, so if you've got friends playing, you'll want to make sure that you get the same version of the game. The game is $60 for the box. Past that, it is free to play, essentially. You don't have to pay a subscription. They are going to be putting out DLC, and they have a cash shop. Fortunately, the cash shop appears to not be too bad here. From what I've seen, they use bits as their currency, so you get 400 bits for $5, and you get more bits for, or you get a discount the more money you're willing to spend. This is close to what Microsoft points are, if you're familiar with those, but that gives you an idea of how much these things are going to cost. So for example, a skill ego boost for the group is about $1 there, if I remember my conversion correctly, and that lasts for 24 hours, 5% boost. So they sell you these boost. Ego is essentially your XP, loot, obvious. Script is your cash, loot. Well, now I see skill ego and XP ego. So I'm not sure what the difference is. The tutorial covers kind of the basics, but it's of the level of use WSAD to move, press mouse button to fire, and doesn't really explain pretty much anything at all past that. So they do need to work on that. Then we have lockboxes, so you can get a tier 4 lockbox here for $5. And this is essentially lockboxes that you've seen in other free-to-play games. It contains 4 random items. You have no idea what you're going to get until you open the lockbox. The tier 3 has 3 items, the tier 2 has 2 items. According to Trion, the higher tier lockboxes also have a higher chance of producing epic or legendary items. So I keep that in mind. You can also buy specific vehicles if you want to, but these are all pretty much skins. You already get these vehicles in the game, so you're essentially just buying skins here. Outfits, so you can have different looks for your character. You do get some outfits in the game, so you do have some customization. The outfits, as far as I can tell, have no effect on your character's performance, so they're purely for aesthetic purposes. Headgear, same thing. You can buy those, and they just show up on your character. And then you have convenience, and so far the only thing here is inventory slots. This might be a little questionable to some people, depending on what you feel. I haven't found the inventory limits to be too restrictive. You just need to remember to sell your stuff or disassemble it. So now that we're kind of in the UI, let's talk about that for a little bit. The UI is definitely console-centric. This was made for a console. As you can pretty obviously tell, this is your standard radial menu. There are hotkeys on the PC in order to go to the submenus, so it's not completely a bad UI port, but there is way too many clicks to get anywhere. Some things don't give enough feedback. Sometimes you have to double click, sometimes you single click, sometimes you can't double click. You have to select the item and then hit the equip button here at the bottom. There's just a lot of wasted space. As you can see, most of this here is all wasted. If you go over to the inventory screen, you can see it's just a giant list, so you have massive amounts of space here that's wasted. Fortunately, they have a comparison system. Again, it's a lot of wasted space, and we would be better served with a tooltip on PC. They just really need to basically redo this entire thing. It's serviceable. I've only noticed a couple of bugs. So yeah, you can play. It's just not going to be particularly fun getting into the UI. The one thing that they think they need to fix first, even before all this, is you have multiple loadouts, and as you would expect for a console-centric shooter, you have two weapons that you can swap between. And I did not mean to click on that because that goes to inventory. So I have a grenade launcher and a assault rifle here, and then I have a different loadout, which is set up with a SMG and a sniper rifle. Switching between weapons is pretty easy. You just hit the Q key on your keyboard. However, you cannot switch loadouts except by going into the menu and clicking here. So switching in combat, not really an option unless you're willing to take a few bullets to the face to do it. You could argue that being able to completely switch your loadouts, which also switches your powers and stuff during combat, might be a bit powerful. But I'd still prefer to do it, even if it means that my character has to go sit down for 2-3 seconds behind cover to actually swap out the loadout. I think that would be preferable. So equipment, like I said, two weapons. For the most part, they each have different kinds of ammo. One thing I have noticed is that this particular ammo type here, which is used for the assault rifle, the submachine gun, and the light machine gun, is identical. So you probably do not want to have two of those weapons equipped at the same time, or you'll burn through your ammo pretty quickly. You also have grenades, which have varying effects. You have your shield and your vehicle you want to run around with. So if you're familiar with Borderlands, this is pretty much ripped directly from Borderlands, except that you only have two weapons instead of four. Your powers then are kind of the next thing. You get one power, and out of your choice of four, and that's active. So you hit your one key on the PC, activates the power, which has a duration and a cooldown. And then you have a series of perks. I've got 3 perk slots unlocked that I've filled. We can unlock more as we level up. So that gets into the leveling system. So here you have the big powers here, the big 4. You have your stealth cloak power. You have a charge power, which runs you forward and then increases your melee power at the end. Oh, sorry, that's a decoy. This is the charge one. Then you have your decoy power, which spawns a hologram, which basically runs forward until they run into something and is good for drawing fire. And you have your overcharge, which is, well, flat damage. So once you've picked your main power, you then get the powers around it semi-faded out here, which are available for you to purchase. And then as you purchase those, you get more that unlock, so it just kind of grows out. And the reason I was able to get 2 powers so early on is because, well, one of the benefits of the key quote-unquote collector's edition is you actually get access to this power. So I was close enough to the overpower to grab it, even though I had grabbed cloak to begin with. The collector's edition is $100. It's kind of questionable if it's worth it. You get a unique skin. I don't think this power is unique. You just start with it. And a couple of other mostly cosmetic goodies. So that's up to you if you want to spend the money on it. But anyway, yeah, you get points. You level up. You have requirements. And each of these skills appears to be able to be leveled 3 times. Your big ones can be leveled 5 times. So you do have a respec option. Cost script, so that's not too bad. Script is your normal currency, so you're not looking at real money for that. Well, I've kind of talked a little bit. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to... Salvaging is kind of their crafting. It's confusing and buggy at the moment. You select an icon, an item to modify, like, I don't know, here, let's modify my assault rifle. It allows me to attach mods. This has 2 mod slots. But you can see a lot of wasted space. I have to click a few times to get it to accept. Go to stock. Oh, I don't have any actually stocks I can use. Oh, I can't have any magazines. I can't tell that from this UI, which is really bad. Maybe because it's grayed out, but I rarely get mods for things that I actually can carry. So some items, and I don't know if I can get it. Yeah, all items you can break down to resources. So if you're out in the field and your inventory is full, you can break them down into a different kind of currency, not your script, but a different kind. And you can add mod slots to some, but not all. And I haven't figured out any way to tell the difference. So, yeah, that's enough talking. Let's go shoot some stuff, do a mission. These little missions here show up in the world as a blue starburst with a exclamation point above it. And they show up on your map as like this little diamond exclamation point here. That's a side mission. And then you have your main missions, which are denoted by this different icon here, and an episode mission, which I believe is directly tied more to the TV show. While we're in the map, there's also various side objectives. So this is a rampage mission, this is a time trial, which is essentially a race, hot shot. If you're familiar with GTA or Saints Row, that's kind of what these are. You can do them, you get put on a scoreboard, and you get, bronze, silver, gold medals for completing them, and some extra XP and gear. Unfortunately, once you've actually, they don't have any icon that tells me, like, I've done this time trial sprint, but it doesn't tell me what my time is and what my last medal was and all that, which is something I need to do, because as I'm looking at it, it's like, I don't know if I've done that. I haven't been in that area for a day or two, so maybe I need to go back and run it, but I can't tell. You do have fast travel. This is a arc fall. If you're familiar with Rift, it's similar to a Rift event. So if something comes down from the sky, lands, you fight off enemies for a while, and then you get ranked based on how much you contributed and get gear and rewards from that. Some icons here for shops, vendors, etc. In fact, while we're here, let's take a look at a lockbox. I haven't actually done one of these before. But you can buy, as we saw in the store, you can buy lockboxes with your in-store currency here. But you can also do it with in-game currency. So 1,000 script and 8 keys for a tier 2 lockbox, or key code. You can buy key codes for 1,000 of these, which are what you get from deconstructing items. So it's entirely possible to get all these lockboxes completely within the game without spending any real money. So we have enough to buy a tier 3 lockbox. Let's buy one. Buy with resources. Got a blue shotgun, a purple auto pistol. We'll have to try that out. And a purple shotgun. Well, I guess we're going to go try shotguns and pistols today, aren't we? So it took me a while to figure this out. Again, the game needs documentation. It doesn't have any. These large numbers are essentially level requirements. It does say level here, but that's not clear as it could be. So let's see. We've got a grenade launcher on this, so I'm going to actually take this scatter gun and swap it for my grenade launcher, because I do like my assault rifle that I have. And let's see here. I suppose if you want to see the stats, excuse me. Fires large caliber individual slugs instead of a spray of pellets. So this is a combat shotgun, which means it's going to have a clip as opposed to like a sawed-off shotgun or a scatter gun. It has a sight and a magazine slots for upgrades, and a couple of extra bonuses here. Melee does poison damage, I think, and then here's your raw stats. So again, very much like Borderlands, your guns are pretty interesting in this game, which is a lot of fun. And now let's switch to our sniper kind of power set here, and let's swap the SMG out for the auto pistol. And you can see we've got comparison set up. This says, oh, the pistol will do more damage, but its fire rate is lower, the magazine is smaller, the reload is slower, crit multiplier is higher, bloom, which is how fast your reticle expands, is worse, and does electrical damage on melee. But, you know, we'll try it. Alrighty, so let's switch back to this guy, and we will do this mission.
Paradise could use your help in a task if you're available. There is a reward, of course.
Very basic voice acting. It's not too bad in the game, but they have basically a stock set of voices or lines that they use for any of these side missions. The main missions have full voice and cutscenes, so. Fumigation. There's a nearby Gulanite mine that is so overrun with hellbugs that the employees need to abruptly evacuate the area. Gulanite is an important fuel source and serves as a large percentage of our economy. Please take some hellbug repellent to the area and place it around the location. The repellent won't last forever, but it will keep the bugs away long enough for the miners to at least pick up the already mined Gulanite. We'll get 2,000 XP, 200 script, and a random weapon mod. So we'll accept that.
There's a lot to stockpile, so let's get to it.
In fact, while I'm thinking about it, let's see if we actually have any mods for our scattergun. So we've got mods, barrel, power choke, and what it does? Who knows? Because the UI is sort of semi-completely broken. But hey, it's a mod, so it must make things better, right? Additional 5% damage from the aiming and hip, okay? And magazine, you see it's still gray from that last time. So there's a mod. We'll go back up, and now we will select our auto pistol. Nope, no mods for that. No mods for that. Now, did the mod stick? It's kind of unclear. Mod did not stick, of course. So how do I accept start action? Yes, I want to attach this mod. Alrighty. Oops, and it switched me over to... No, I'm still in shotgun mode. Okay. I suppose I could have seen that by the reticle. Alright, so off we go. Welcome to vehicles, which are a hell of a lot of fun. If there's anything that this game does well, aside from the shooting, which is also excellent, it is the vehicles. They are just a lot of fun to travel around with. And of course now I'm noticing that actually we need to be back at the base for our first objectives because I'm an idiot. When you get off your vehicle, it'll stick around for a minute or two before disappearing. There is no collision between player characters or player vehicles, so you can't run anybody over, at least you can't run other players over, and you can't crash into their vehicles. Enemies though, fair game. You can completely run them over. You won't get any loot for it, but you will get XP. That's not where I wanted to go. Stay in the water. There is a semi-GPS system if you want. You can go to the map and right-click on something to get a path to it.
I know where to go. Let's roll.
As I mentioned earlier, shooting is very good. This is definitely put time into shooting. As far as I'm aware, I am still in the opening zone, but it is unclear, as it could partially be seen as... Well, I haven't gotten any farther, so I don't know if there are more zones. Your health does regenerate, but I'm not sure if it regenerates actually in combat. It's purely out of combat. I'm probably going to die. I really hate fighting these things. Mostly because of these guys. These warriors here absorb a lot of damage unless you're shooting them in the rear, or for the most damage, into the mouth. Their mouth isn't open a lot of the time, so it's harder to hit them. What I should be using is my overcharge. Guys. Shift to run, Alt to dodge, which you see me using a lot of. I'm going to try to run around a little bit till the shields, ow, recharge. Those guys just suck. Their only weak point is on the bottom, which they only expose if you're up like that, at which point you better be dodging to the side anyway. And welcome to the death system. So somebody else could come along and revive me. The monsters are basically going to be shooting / stomping on me as long as I'm here. I'm going to self-revive, which pulls me back to full health, full shields. The problem with self-revival is you can only use it every so often. And now this guy is basically just going to take an hour to kill. He's got a ridiculous amount of health and armor. In the rear, but only when that's exposed. And again, hit him in the chest, but again, only when it's exposed. And neither when it is. I know it sounds like I'm complaining a lot, and for these guys I am. These are just not very interesting monsters to fight, and they are, well, difficult to... Now, maybe if I was in a group, this would be easier, because somebody could be running around drawing fire, where the other persons could be unloading fire into him. Yeah, because even with my overcharge there, I'm only doing 8 damage when I shoot his body rather than 7. There's 27 here. But again, only when it's exposed. I do have the console-style auto-aim, so it will try to snap my view a little bit when I go into iron sights. You can turn that off if you don't like it. You can see this is incredibly fun. Don't worry, there are the human enemies are a little more interesting in that they have a good variety of types. I'm just mostly frustrated that there are very few places that you can actually hit on this thing to do damage. Otherwise, you basically shouldn't be bothering. So I spend a lot of time running around waiting for him to do a specific animation, and hoping that I'm actually in a position to weak point at that time. Show your grenade. Got a grenade, and I didn't throw it very far. That's an incendiary grenade, so it sets them on fire. There are flashbangs, which will stun and electrocute enemies, which is what I have equipped on my other loadout. You can see with this guy pounding on me, I have no real chance to switch to my loadout, so I hope I've got... You hope you have a loadout that'll work. far as I can tell with the dodge roll, there is no cooldown, so you can just dodge roll as much as you want. Obviously, dodge roll is like reload, and you can't really attack while doing it. Yep, they are very Borderlands-like. I guess even to some extent, the best way to kind of explain this game to people is it's essentially massively multiplayer Borderlands, but without all the crass humor. Now, whether that's a good or a bad thing is your stance on crass humor. You know, and I'm just realizing, if you notice at the top of my screen, it says Revolting Hellbugs, time remaining. So actually, this big guy is not a part of our side mission. At least I don't think he is. I'm going to have to check the map, because I'm seeing a slight red glow on the mini-map, and then we are actually in a major arcfall area. Look at that, I'm out of ammo for my assault rifle. So, I hope I can actually put a few shots on target with the shotgun. There we go. What do we get? We get one script. Yeah, that's useful. Ah, yes, we are in the middle of a large arc fall. So there's a lot of arc falls in this area going on. So that's actually what the Revolting Hellbugs is. So that may very well have been a part of our mission. Well, I'm going to switch loadouts because my assault rifle is out of ammo. That's going to be a pain in the rear to play with just a shotgun. So again, these warriors, we want to get them in their mouths because then I just flashbang myself because I'm brilliant. I can hear them. They do not. Yeah, they burrow and they come back up. There we go. The warriors aren't too bad if you can get a shot at their mouths. It's just that those really big monarch ones, even if you do get shots at their weak point, they take forever. And I have not found any weak points on the archers, but they seem to be relatively weak in general. For human enemies, as you would expect, the head is basically their weak point. There are a couple of special variants. Some have backpacks that are explosive, so you want to shoot the backpack or, you know, stuff like that. For the most part, the side quests...
I'm very thankful for your aid. What you have done is a huge
Yeah, and that's
help
a
to
side
Paradise.
quest there. Complete. Oh, wow, that's a lot of little guys. Fortunately, they pop good. Ammo and cash you just pick up by running over it. If there's weapons that drop on the, or shields or other equipment that drop on the ground, then you have to press E to loot. You can hold E to immediately swap whatever you're carrying or currently equipped with the item on the ground, which is nice. Oh, come on. Really? I just want to get out of here. Alright, we'll get out of here. Summon vehicle. we're here, let's go take a look at one of these arc balls, which is where this game will actually look more like an MMO rather than an open world shooter. You can see the sky actually has little meteorites and other really cool visual effects. So the objective here of the Skyfall is to destroy the giant crystal. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage to shoot it directly, but there's usually some trick to it. Like for the Hellbugs, I've noticed that you want to kind of let the skitterers there chew on it for a while, because they will expose weak points on the crystal. You also notice these guys are not popping nearly as quickly as the ones from Solo, because the game does scale up enemy health based on how many other people are in here. Good or a bad thing, depending on. I would personally just rather have more enemies running around than higher health enemies, because higher health enemies aren't really any more interesting. Let me switch back to shotgun, assault rifle. Because this is a place where shotgun will actually play pretty well. Plus, I don't seem to pick up ammo for weapons that I don't have to equip. So there's that big orange thing is a weak point. You can see the numbers coming up are green, indicating that you're hitting a weak point. White numbers. And there's the end of the arcfall event. Well, of this minor arcfall.
We made that look easy.
So we can continue riding around. We've got another one here up to the north. The red Dodge Challenger for pre-order people. Product placement. At least they made it fit in world by kind of making it Mad Max style. These actually get pretty cool. You get a lot of people like this in the same area shooting at things. A lot of fun.
Okay, Fox, it's back. Get ready. That skitterling just put a small opening in the crystal. Aim for that spot.
Alright, I forgot this particular shotgun doesn't actually shoot a spread of pellets. It shoots a single slug. I do find the little blue bell falls on people's feet when they're slow to be kind of hilarious. Also, the visual effects can get ridiculous with this overcharge power. You can see you get kind of a red flash and glow when you hit with it. Well, when you've got an SMG, he's just driving around.
Okay, Fox, it's back. Get ready.
Yeah, let's see. I've got it. So, this weapon looks ridiculous with the overcharge power on.
Exposing weak spots in the crystal.
I do not think the effects are actually good. I've seen other people running around with the overcharge ability on, and I don't see the ridiculous on-screen effects for it, so I think that's probably. But yeah, this is a scene that you aren't actually going to get in some of those other claimed MMO shooters. Global Agenda. Which is not to say that, those games aren't fun, but I have a hard time calling them massively multiplayer online games if you're not running around with 50 people. There is a very wide variety of weapons. We're seeing some of them used here. I've got this kind of sci-fi assault rifle
Aim for that spot.
going on. that I've seen. Electricity beams, there's healing beams for those of you who want a support role. No idea what that guy's doing, but it's cool. Overcharge. Ready? So we'll find something that will take a lot of damage. Alright. Here's why it gets a little ridiculous. All sorts of ridiculous screen blur, bright red effects. See these little skitterers taking huge amounts of damage because of the number of people in this area. You might be wondering, why am I not running out of ammo? Well, those kind of enemies are some of the Skyfalls I've seen those in trailers. I think that's part of the infector weapon type, where you basically shoot somebody with it, they get infected, and if they die, those little guys pop out and go after other people. I'm trying to pick up my green weapon here, but come on. How do I know it's green? Because it's got a green glow. Oh, come on. I can't pick it up. I don't know if it's because other people are needed. There's a pulsar, fully automatic, and this is all that it shows on the ground. So it gives you the level requirement and a one-liner about how it behaves. Is that actually a new weapon type that I haven't messed with? So let's see. The blaster is just a pistol. And the pulsar is a submachine gun. Okay, so it's similar to my SMG here. And the arcfall event is still going on. There it is. You can see the sky looks pretty dang cool. Hopefully it shows up on the screen, on the stream. Hard to hear me over the assault rifle. Alright, I will... Well, let's go into the menu, because first off, we've got a ego point to spend, and let's see, let's pump up our overcharge one more point. And we'll go to options, so let's go crank down the volume a little bit more. So, hopefully that'll help. Hopefully you'll still be able to hear the game and not have the voice being completely drowned out. We'll see how this works. I have not seen this before. That looks awesome. It must be because this is a major arcfall event, and that's like some sort of mature Hellbug Hellion. So that's some sort of uber boss. That isn't the bot. That is currently the boss. Hope the audio is a little better now. That's just spawning hellbugs. Are they from hell? Who knows? But they certainly look like it. Somebody's fed up with it and is just driving over everything. Okay, good. Apparently the audio's better. Except maybe when I hit the weak spot there for 4 damage. The damage numbers you can turn off. Just occurred to me to say that, because some of you might not like the giant spew of numbers coming out of these things, which is understandable. I like to see it just because it helps indicate how effective I'm being. Without having to pay too much attention to the health bar. See if we can run around here and pick up some ammo. Drops seem to be based on whether you've actually tagged the enemy or whether you've done any damage to the enemy in question. There certainly does not appear to be any kind of tagging system, so if somebody's in trouble, feel free to go help them out without worrying too much about their loot drops or not getting any loot drops of your own, which is nice. That was bad positioning on my part. Everybody's kind of focusing on this monarch.
The symbiote has detached from the body. Kill it before it retreats.
Tail there that's actually vulnerable, as indicated by the orange. That's an elite one, so there's more damage, more, still have ammo for that. Really? I need to find an ammo drop. Is there any ammo boxes on the ground? I'm not seeing any. No, that's not good. It looks like we focus on these guys until the mature Hellbug Hellion comes out, and we try to DPS that as much as we can until it disappears. Still don't have any ammo for that. I thought I ran over some ammo pickups. Maybe not. That's just script. For those of you who watch a lot of sci-fi TV, you'll know kind of a lot of, you'll notice a lot of the kind of TV low-budget sci-fi tropes in this game. There are only two races at the moment. You have human and the one alien race that my character is, which you probably didn't even know that she was an alien until I told you so. Because really the only indication, I can't really get a good front shot, is the slightly different shaped face. Low budget TV movies, you want to make an alien, you put a forehead prosthetic on them, which is essentially what they've done. And of course the alien swear words, which don't have to be censored on TV, and sound suspiciously like human swear words. Hoping that throwing a grenade under those actually would hurt them more because the weakest point on the underbody, but I haven't seen that. Open your mouth. So if I open it, I have to be able to shoot it. There is no mana. There is no other resources other than ammo. Your grenades do not have a count, they just have a cooldown. Oops, that was not a good throw.
Detached from the body. Kill it before it retreats.
I'm seriously running out of ammo here. Shield. It didn't actually take any health. 8 minutes remaining. Kill this guy. As far as I can tell, you can be injured by your own grenades. However, other people's grenades can't injure you, which is rather nice, because obviously if you're throwing grenades into a giant OD like this, you're going to hit a lot of friendlies. Ah, there is an ammo box. It would have helped if I knew about that earlier. And there we finished it. So I've got a purple flashbang, a green bio grenade, some more keys for lockboxes, XP, and script. And you can go here and you can kind of see your rating. I don't know, because my mouse wheel is not scrolling. So I am under 16, but because the UI doesn't actually scroll, it's not showing me. Alright, well, let's take a look at the new flashbang we got. So we've currently got that Flash Charge EX22W. This has a larger radius, but is otherwise identical. I will take a larger radius. And we've got our pyro. What does the new Bio Blast one do? So that has a shorter detonation time, a longer refresh time, Biological is a snare, so chances of it doing damage aren't that great, but you kind of hold the people in place. I'm kind of just doing a damage build with this one here. So the reason this is called Machinist is because that's the quote-unquote class that I picked at start, but as far as I can tell, the only thing that changes is the outfit that you start with, which for me was the Scrapyard Machinist. I was thinking originally, hey, maybe I can do some things like build some turrets or something, but no, it's just your appearance. Alright, so what do we got? Well, I've showed you a side mission, so let's go take a look at one of the major missions. So yeah, right click on the map, pops up a waypoint. There is no in-world, you get the indicator there on your screen, the purple waypoint, but you don't get the any markers in the world on the roads. But if you can see on the mini-map, there's kind of an animated purple line that supposedly follows roads, not always. Infiltrate North Point mine and free the miners taken hostage by raiders. You get 2,000 XP, 200 scrip, and a new vehicle.
You just can't stop playing hero, can you? Listen up. If you're gonna hit North Point Mine, you're gonna need my help. I'm shooting you some coordinates. Meet me there.
So, unique audio for the main missions. I'm gonna switch to my stealthier loadout here, in the hopes that I can snipe several of the miners, or not the miners, the raiders. Let's make sure we're topped off. Unfortunately, the ammo boxes only give ammo for what your current select weapon is, which is annoying because it means you have to cycle through your weapons to get them all topped off.
The raiders will use this comm relay to call for help. I can tap in to kill their calls, but you'll need to keep those hellbugs off me. Then you can make your move on North Point. Let's do this.
Oh yay, more hellbugs.
Let's see what they got. Here we go. Look at Trion.
This is a semi-automatic sniper rifle. They do have more bolt-action ones, which I believe are higher damage, but obviously lower firing rate. Just to be able to hit people. Alright, pistol time. And I'm falling down the hill. Stop running off. Enemy AI, I can't talk today. Enemy AI is okay. It is unerringly accurate, but otherwise pretty stupid. It's very much like a regular, like you'd expect from a MMO. They have a aggro mechanic, but past that, they aren't terribly intelligent. Got lucky with a shot in his mouth. So that stunned him. Unfortunately, he's flailing around a little too much for me to actually get a good shot.
Time for you to hit North Point. I'll stay here and keep the raiders running in circles. Probably some good intel to steal, too.
Alright. So we got a little ways to go. Let's pop out our vehicle again.
Those ruthless raiders are holding the farmer hostage along with
Crap.
several
I
miners.
did not mean to go all the way down. Yeah, that was a very bad approach. I'm screwed. What happened? Yep. So, now the real death system. Since I self-revived, the only option I have is to extract, which means I go back to the last, or the nearest revive point. These will always have an ammo box near them, so you can stock back up. The enemies do not replenish, though they might get some health back, and it's going to cost you some script to come back. So this time, instead of running in there, we're going to get stuck in a tree. Fortunately, you can just resummon your vehicle. We are going to try not to completely go down the hill into the raider camp. So they do have crouch as well, which will increase your accuracy along with aiming. And this build, or the build that I'm running, as much as I can call it a build, it actually increases my damage when crouching too. That enemy will probably remind you of another Borderlands enemy. You can't hit him through the shield, or you can't hurt him through the shield, but you can shoot around the shield. And part of the reason why I carry the flashbang grenades is that grenade type will also knock those guys out from behind their shield, so you can more easily damage them. So, fortunately, another thing that I've noticed is because me and this other guy here, I believe, are on the same mission. If he actually rescues one of the miners, which is the current objective, it should count for me as well. So he can go down there and draw all the attention while I snipe everybody. Yep, you can see you've got 2 of the 5 pips up there. So the rescuing he's doing is counting, even though we are not in a group. The mobs do not appear out of thin air, fortunately, like some other games. They do, however, pop out of monster boxes. So if there's a door, that the game essentially you've got a bunch of clown cars lying around the area, and this was apparently a very bad move. Let's stealth. Stealth holds up. You can see you're still somewhat visible, and you will reappear if you fire for a brief moment, but then you disappear again. I would imagine that players have still a chance to see through the shimmer effect, but mobs do not appear to be able to. Let's see if I can knock him out of the shield. Yep, there we go. Oh, crap. This is going to hurt. Where'd the bait go? would probably be a good chance for me to switch the loadouts to something that's a little more durable. Hey buddy, have a grenade.
Come on!
There is no cover system, by the way, so you don't snap into cover or have any kind of mechanics like that. You just kind of stand behind something if you want to have cover. One thing I do wish is that they would have a shoulder swap, because, you know, from this angle, for example, I can expose myself before I shoot, or from this angle I don't have to. I can just... So it would be nice to be able to essentially swap shoulders so that it wouldn't be in that situation. Die. Shield 201. Let's try it. So that immediately equipped that new shield, because I held down E. What are you? Oh, you're one of the miners we rescued. Oh. Hello, Raider. Hide. Wait for my leg to grow back. And those Molotovs really suck. Especially if you're zoomed in and say a sniper rifle, you could burn to death before you know it. Here, now I have a grenade. There you go. Again, those guys are easier if you have a companion, because somebody can draw their attention and you shoot them in the back.
That's not the kind of situation I like to be in.
Alright, let's go take a look at this last miner over here.
It's about time someone saved me.
Thank you. Our foreman and technician are being held captive in the office. Can you save them?
Sure, once I know where the... Oh, it's upstairs, okay. Ladders. Probably one of the very few games where ladders annoy me, because they're actually done pretty well.
Help me! Can't move!
And because grenades do not injure friendlies... Oh crap. You're just gonna take it.
You should have run! Help me out!
Let's fill up over here. Oh, he took out that guy for us. That was nice of him.
I don't know how to repay you. Thanks for letting me loose.
Those asshole raiders busted our generators and were leaking propane gas. If we don't fix them, this place could explode. If we split up, it'll be faster. You'll need to cover me and my technician in case they show up again.
So now we have
Got more raiders
defense.
incoming.
To switch loadouts. Because sniper. That guy freaked out through the railing. Oh, one thing I haven't shown yet is the game does have basic melee to the tune of Call of Duty. Yeah, look at that. He basically just lobbed a grenade and it went right at where I was standing. Basically no inaccuracy at all with thrown weapons. Okay, you. No, you're actually one of our guys. Grenade. A few shots to the head. Which is like a boot to the head, but more effective. Bolt action repeater. Manual action sniper rifle. Let's try it. This one will obviously be much slower on the fire rate because I have to cycle the bolt.
Got it! We're headed to fix the pipes. Watch our back.
I'm watching it. Nothing's happening to it. It's a slightly pudgy back. So what do we watch? Oh, the raiders are coming from this direction. And you're over there. Great. One of them is down. Fortunately, you can just walk over and revive them.
Help me up!
Hard for me to tell how effective this is if I can't hit them. Seems to be higher damage, but I can't pull off shots nearly as quickly. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Have a grenade. Oh, yeah, see? Molotov on the ground. Had very little idea I was on fire.
Okay, one more pipe and one more generator
Let's
to
see
fix.
if I can swap
I'll get
this
the
out
pipe.
real quick.
My technician will get the generator.
Raiders bringing trouble from the east.
There we go. Something that would have taken all of 5 seconds in, say, World of Warcraft or Rift, but, well, much more time in this game.
Raiders coming in from the west.
Obviously see my elite shooter skills in action. By elite shooter skills, I mean ability to miss.
Raiders bringing trouble from the east.
All done. We're gonna stay out of the way until it's safe to come out.
Why are they alive? I'll kill them myself.
A tanker. The pistons on his shoulder and back will cripple him if they malfunction. Aim for
These
those.
guys are equivalent of the Monarch for the Hellbug, and they are also a pain in the backside. You hit the tank in the back, but still it doesn't do a lot of damage. As you can tell, we're unloading into him. His health bar is gradually going down. Now imagine doing it on your own. Where he's always trying to face you.
Handled them nicely. Good work.
That was one mean son of a
Shotgun.
bitch. We sure are glad you came around. Thank you, friend.
Those dumbasses were looking for the Matrix. I tried to tell them that Varys already has it,
Okay,
and
I
already
need
has plans to
to
sell it, but they
deconstruct
wouldn't
something.
listen.
Nice work at North Point, bud. But you'll never guess what I heard coming out of Raider Central. This Stocko is a little too sensitive to just be blurting out over the airwaves. So meet me back at the tower. Pronto.
Right, off we go. So you can obviously tell these missions are far more elaborate than the little side missions. The other thing that you will randomly run across is they do have missions that kind of spawn out in the middle of nowhere, which is what that little shield icon that popped up on my HUD was, and the orange dot on the mini-map. I could have stopped there and helped them out. For example, here's another little mini-mission. Kill the hellbugs. And you'll just see those pop up as you drive around the world, so they can give you a nice little bit of XP, you know, cash and loot and such. Come on, up that hill. It probably would have been faster for me to get off and walk at that point.
Turns out the Raiders are trying to get the Matrix for someone else. I don't know who it is, but the Raiders are pretty damn scared. I'm going to dig around and see what else I can find out. This Stocko is getting deep.
Varys is a first-class asshole for lying to us. But him already having the Matrix makes this a lot easier. Meet me at his office. We'll take advantage of your special talents and rip it from his grubby hands.
So, that gives you an idea of a story-based mission in Defiance. What else we kind of got going on in the game? Trying to think. There is competitive matchmaking. So if you want, there's a couple of maps. I've currently unlocked an 8v8 team deathmatch and a 6v6 team deathmatch. Those are as you expect if you've played any other, first-person or third-person shooters online. There are co-op missions. I haven't really tried these yet, but again, you can queue for them and play them. I assume they're essentially little instances that you can play with friends. And then you have the Shadow War, which I haven't heard much about, so I can't really comment on that. Is there anything else potentially worth showing off? Nope. Let's see. Well, goals. I mean, these are essentially your sort of achievement system. So there are a lot of them, and some of them award you XP. Some actually award you items. This is a new helmet, for example, and it kicked me off the screen. So, well, I've seen this once or twice. The servers have had their issues, but they are working on it. They've already issued a couple of patches, and well, that's actually probably a good time to kind of wrap this up. in general, I've been pretty much enjoying the game, aside from the UI issues. If you like third-person shooters, if you like Borderlands or games similar to that, and are willing to drop, $50, $60 on a game, to, who knows how much playtime you'll get out of it, but I've got several hours. I'm right now up to, probably 14, 15 hours into the game right now, so I certainly have got my money's worth and had a blast. So yeah, if that appeals to you, if mixing Borderlands and kind of World of Warcraft and sounds like a party, then I suggest you check it out. There is no demo that I know of. You may want to wait a little bit because their first major patch is going to be on the 15th, which is next week. They are apparently planning a second major patch 2 weeks after that, and their first DLC shortly thereafter. They've promised that a lot of that DLC will not be separating the community, and that things such as missions will be free, whereas stuff like certain weapons or races will not be free. I'm not entirely sure. Nobody really knows yet how that's going to shake out because they haven't released any DLC yet. And I'm not really sure the motivation for creating a new character, because you're going to go through the exact same path through the game, so you're not really going to see any new missions, and you can unlock all of these skills with a single character. So I don't know. If you want to start a new character with a different race, if they release some really kick-ass race in the future, maybe, but I'm not seeing too much motivation to create a second character. So anyway, I've been blathering on long enough, and you've seen some of the game. I'm sure other people have put up first impressions of the game. We'll see how this shakes out. I do hope it does well, and that they keep the DLC in the store clean, as it were, because it certainly seems like a lot of promise. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.